Hello, everybody. My name is Brid. I'm a time waiver practitioner and I create expert programs for Healy and MagHealy users. So when I see people on Zoom for sessions, I discover places where there is some confusion or lack of clarity about aspects of the use of the Healy or MagHealy. So I'm creating this set of videos to clarify a couple of those. We're beginning with the whole issue of intensity and how we can alter intensity and what effect that has. So I begin with the theory. When we use the Healy Pink app with the wires, as you can see I have right now, um, increasing the intensity of the current helps to overcome the resistance offered by the skin, so that the microcurrent can enter the body and therefore the frequencies can enter the body. When we're using the MagHealy, increasing the intensity increases the strength of the magnetic field around the Healy. So just to give you some numbers, the maximum strength of the magnetic field around the MagHealy when it's at 100% intensity is 300 microtesla. That is the strength of the magnetic field. It's not a very strong magnetic field compared to many of the other PEMF devices. It is about average. A beamer mat, for example, has a lower intensity electromagnetic field, but most PEMF devices have around 300 microtesla. With the MagHealy, of course, the further away that you are from the MagHealy, the weaker that field is. So it wouldn't be 300 microtesla on to reaching your body unless the MagHealy is quite close to you and the intensity is at 100%. With the Healy, what we notice is that with lower frequencies, the skin resistance has a greater effect, and it's harder for the current carrying lower frequencies to enter our physical bodies. So that's the point at which we need to make sure that we have the intensity turned up enough. And fortunately, it is at the beginning, normally, of programs that the lower frequencies are programmed in. I'll say a little bit more about that later, but with the majority of Healy Pink app programs, the beginning of the program delivers lower frequencies. The middle of the program delivers a range of frequencies according to indications. And the last 5 minutes or so of the program delivers more higher frequencies that help to integrate the benefits into the emotional level. So we can adjust intensity in two ways. We have a global intensity setting in the Heal Advisor app, which I'll show you just now. And we have the intensity setting, the plus and minus button on our Pink app while we're running a program. So those are the two ways, and I'll start with the Heal Advisor app first and show you the global intensity setting. So here we have the Heal Advisor app, and this is where we can change the global intensity setting. When you open that, you simply go to MagHealy. When you click on MagHealy, there we see the option. It will hopefully list all of your Healy devices, and you can see my two. I have one at the moment on high current and the other on low current. The default setting, by the way, is low current. So if you wanted to change to high current, you simply click switch. And here you can read why it's necessary to give you the option of high or low current. Some people are sensitive to current and need to have the option to keep the current very low. By the way, the current at its maximum is about 400 microamperes. That's many, many, many times less than, say, a TENS machine. So 400 microamperes is very weak current. And yet it has been proven to have the beneficial effects on the body of increasing protein synthesis in the cells, increasing ATP production, energy molecules in the mitochondria, and increasing voltage potential across the cell membrane. These are proven benefits of microcurrent, and we're talking about maximum 400 microamperes. A TENS machine, for example, uses milliamperes, so 1,000 times higher current, and still that's regarded as safe. So basically, the default setting for everybody is the lower intensity setting in the Heal Advisor app. But if you are not at all sensitive to microcurrent and you prefer to have higher intensity globally for all of the programs that you run, you can go into the Heal Advisor and set it at the higher range. Now I'm going to show you examples of programs running in the Pink app and how important it is to check at the beginning of each program that the current is actually running, that your intensity is high enough, what you have control over, that the intensity is high enough percentage to make sure that current is actually flowing. So here we are in the Healy Pink app, in the gold cycle, and I'm going to take an example of the being program and just run it and show you what happens at the beginning. Here we are, the beginning of this being program, and we have frequencies like 692 Hertz being generated, but there is no current flowing. So I'm using the wristbands, the wires, and right now for these frequencies that are, we call them low frequencies, under 1,000 Hertz, no current is flowing. So what we have to do is increase the intensity. The default was 15%. We increase it until that message disappears. So it needed 25% intensity. Personally, I continue to increase it. I don't feel anything in the wristbands. I want to point out to everybody, you don't need to feel anything physically. It just means that for me, I'm quite comfortable to continue increasing up to 100%. So I can have the maximum volume of current, the maximum intensity of current, and still feel comfortable. But it's perfectly fine to stay at 50%. Actually, when I use the ear clips or I use the adhesive electrodes behind my ears, for those kinds of programs, I normally keep the intensity at 35 to 50%. But when it's a whole body program, I like to have it a little bit higher. Okay. Now I'm taking you to the bioenergetic support page and the Cosmic Growth Program, this new program that Marcus created and released in March this year. And this program is interesting because it's a series of frequencies that are mostly quite low. It's the Fibonacci scale, and it runs 1 hertz, 2 hertz, 3 hertz, 5 hertz, 8 hertz, for 1 minute each, a total of 30 frequencies in half an hour. And it is only after about 17 minutes that we go above 100 hertz even. So see what happens when we run this program. Begins with 1 hertz, and that 15% intensity is definitely not enough. So we increase. And of course, you could also add moisture to the skin. That will help overcome the resistance of the skin. But here we are, increasing to 25. And again, 25% was enough in this case to allow this current carrying the 1 hertz frequency to enter the body. What's really important for people to understand is, even if you're using the coil and not the wires, you still need to have the current flowing through the coil. If there isn't current flowing through the coil, then the frequency that is being generated will not be transferred into the local information field. So I have met some people who thought that if they're using the coil, then they don't need to check at the beginning of the program whether the current is flowing. The other question that people have is, with the coil, what percentage should I use? My view on it is that it's important to have it high enough that a current will certainly run for all of the frequencies in that program. So for that reason, I would say 50%. But equally, I don't believe that there is any benefit in going further than 50. Because with the coil, the frequency that is generated is delivered into the information field as long as current is running. There isn't a strength with which it's delivered into the information field. It either is or it isn't. So if current is running, that's enough. Okay, so I would increase it with the coil to about 50%, and then I'm confident to let go of looking at my screen, checking whether current is running. At this point, I want to say about the benefit if you wish to switch off the Bluetooth on your Healy, or your MagHealy, by the way, if you prefer not to have Bluetooth running. Many people leave their phones on airplane mode or just switch off Bluetooth on their phone most of the time. It's a very good idea. Same with the Healy. So if you want to now switch off the Bluetooth, you see that the program is running, the green light is flashing. At the moment, there's a blue light flashing too. So we click on the battery icon and we see Healy Bluetooth chip on. We want to switch it off now. So it's now switched off, deliberately switched off. My Healy shows the green light still flashing, so I'm reassured that the program is still running. When it's finished, it will stop flashing. So if I want to switch the Bluetooth of the Healy back on, I simply press the on button twice. I switch off the Healy and I switch it on again by pressing twice. It's the same, by the way, with the MagHealy. Switch it off and on twice, and that will bring the Bluetooth back into action. Okay, now we are going to connect to the MagHealy and show what happens there. So here is the MagHealy with all the different program groups. And I'm going to take an example of an expert program which I created and which I use a lot, and it's very popular. And it is the anti-aging overnight program. It's 3 hours long, by the way. And with the MagHealy, I've never seen a message saying that frequencies are being generated, but no current is running. Instead, what you see is the kind of amplitude of the current. At 15%, it's quite small. And that can also be shown by the lights, the brightness of the lights, the circular lights. When you increase the intensity, that wave increases on the screen, and the brightness of the lights on the Healy also increases. So as you know, with MagHealy, current is created and delivered through 2 coils. And each of those coils then creates a magnetic field around it. So you have 2 magnetic fields, each carrying a different frequency. In this case, 40 hertz, the frequency for reducing inflammation, paired with 355 hertz, being delivered by the second coil, the current. That frequency is the frequency for the skin. So this is a portion of this program where we're reducing inflammation in the skin. Increasing the strength of the current on the MagHealy, the current that is running in both of those coils, has the effect of causing the strength of the pulsed electromagnetic field to increase. So as I said earlier, the maximum strength of the MagHealy magnetic field is 300 microtesla. That's at an intensity of 100, like we have here. And when the MagHealy is closest to the body will experience that intensity of field, magnetic field. If you are running an atmosphere program and having the MagHealy in the middle of a room, you might also want to have it at 100% so that it will be at its strongest for anybody sitting near the MagHealy. And lastly, I just want to point out that with the MagHealy also, you can switch off the Bluetooth by clicking on the battery icon and switching off. So switching off the Bluetooth on the MagHealy saves battery time and also allows you to use the MagHealy, for example, while you're sleeping, which I do with the anti-aging program. I switch off the Bluetooth on both my phone and the MagHealy. And although my phone is not finding the MagHealy because I have switched the Bluetooth off on it, the green light on my MagHealy is still flashing. I don't think you see it, but it is still flashing. Another little tip is that instead of having it on setting number 3, you can keep it on setting number 2 so that the circular lights are not being used. We don't need them. The green light is flashing, and therefore that tells us that the program is running. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I'll put my email underneath this video. You're welcome to contact me if you have any questions or want any help with your use of Healy or MagHealy. Take care. Bye-bye.